Well, here we are, last day of April. – 2013, and I was just thinking way back when I lived in Harvard Square back in, I guess it was about 1963, something like that, 63, 64, and I went through Harvard at that time, Harvard University, but that's the old Boston joke. You walk through the yard. You went through Harvard Yard, and I lived on Harvey Ave. That's how I got to the Cambridge Square station. But I remember in some of those days, I'd go up to, I believe it was Lamont Library. I think I got that right. The public could go in there, one of the libraries, and I'm sitting down at the bench. Then I go over to the table and open up a book, Henry David Thoreau, of course, and I started reading from Thoreau, and I'm going to share that with you now. On observation, and he makes an important point that could stand you in stead your whole life. This is from Henry David Thoreau, and it's taken from the Norton Reader, 9th edition. Okay. There is no such thing as pure objective observation. Your observation to be interesting, it has to be significant, must be subjective. Must be subjective. The sum of what the writer, or whatever class, has to report is simply human experience, whether he be poet or philosopher or man of science. Must be subjective. The man of most science is the man most alive, whose life is the greatest event. Senses that take cognizance of outward things merely are of no avail. It matters not where or how far you travel, the farther, commonly the worse, but how much alive you are. If it is possible to conceive of an event outside to humanity, it is not of the slightest significance, though it were the explosion of a planet. Every important worker will report what life there is in him. It makes no odds into the seeming deserts the poet is born. Though all his neighbors pronounce it a Sahara, it will be a paradise to him, for the desert, which we see in the results of barrenness of our experience. No mere willful activity whatever, whether in writing verses or collecting statistics, will produce true poetry or science. If you are really a sick man, it is indeed to be regretted, for you cannot accomplish so much as if you were well. All that a man has to say or do, or that can possibly concern mankind, is in some shape or other to tell the story of his love, to sing, and if he is fortunate and keeps alive, he will forever be in love. This alone is to be alive to the extremities. It is a pity that this divine creature should ever suffer from cold feet. A still great pity that the coldness so often touches to his heart. Well, kind of brings to mind what Ezra Pound says. The only thing that's important in life is what we loved, and the rest is dross. It must be subjective. Well, down here at the Paradise Park here in Sparks, Nevada, but I'm imagining that uh, back in Walden Pond, good old New England.